Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. This is going to be my group reading for the rise of Virgo. Now, Virgo is going to rise high in the sky on August 23rd, and it'll stay there until September 22nd. We're headed back to an earth sign. Virgo, or the maiden, is a mutable earth sign, which may sound weird, but Virgo is the sign that likes that detailed orientated piece. This might sound a little bit off and weird. Mutable earth is that stable energy. Mutable means that it's flexible. Now, earth sign in itself doesn't really like to be flexible. Now, when you're looking at mutable or changeable zodiac, from the mutable signs, because there's one of each element, the earth sign or Virgo is the most limiting in its mutability, if you will, that changeability. Virgo is that detailed orientated aspect, focusing in on those details to gain the direction that we need. Now, because we do have that mutability, we have that ability to be a bit more flexible with where it is we're going to go. Unlike Taurus, who won't shift or change, Virgo has a better likelihood to change. Like I said, it's not one of the most common mutable signs or flexible signs we've got going. However, from that earth-based standpoint, we can have some change, some shifting. But that shifting has to make sense, especially in those finer points. So what this reading is going to look at is what energy Virgo is going to bring for you. It's going to be here for about a month, and we have the ability to use this detailed, orientated, and very fertile energy of the maiden to our advantage. Now, the decks I chose for this reading, I went with the Tarot of the Hidden Realm and the Energy Oracle. Both of them really speak to that Virgo energy, that very earthy and fertile energy. Now, the selections I have for this reading, the first one is for Virgo. So many of us know our sun signs. We look them up in magazines. However, our astrological birth chart is much more than that. You could have Virgo come up in different aspects within that chart. You can have Virgo come up in different aspects in your birth chart, in your astrological charts. So you still may have that Virgo energy well within yourself. We're not just one astrological sign. When we were born, there was a lot more than just one astrological sign going on in the cosmos. If you're not too sure if you have that Virgo sign within your astrological chart, there's a lot of free sites that will draw up your chart, your astrological birth chart. So you can go check it out and see which other zodiac signs really impact your everyday. So for the first section here are for my Virgo friends, no matter where Virgo lands in that chart. Then I have two selection readings. I have Healerite and Selenite. I want you to choose whichever of the three that most suits you right now, whether that be Virgo or whichever crystal resonates with you the most right now. And then I want you to head into the description box below. I have timestamps there. You can select the correlating timestamp to your choice, and it'll take you straight to your reading. And I will see you there. Hello and welcome, my Virgo friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the Oracle and the Tarot cards, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Virgo wants to share with you guys. What insight, wisdom, and guidance does Virgo have for my Virgo friends? Justice. I love this depiction of Justice. She's no longer just sitting on her throne that Pamela Coleman Smith drew her on. She is ready for action. Now, Justice is the 11th card in the Major Arcana. And it talks about balance, that right from wrong. You're going to start to see some of this imbalance and instability, well, balance out. You're going to feel more secure and stable. Not only do we have that Virgo energy of that earth stability, we have that power and certainty of the Justice card. She uses the sword of truth and knowledge to cut through some of this veil that has settled in, this uncertainty and doubt. Now, depending on where you're lying on the spectrum of right and wrong, and we know this because it's the same spectrum of low vibration and high, we may feel the pinch of justice a little bit more. If we've been stuck and stagnant and making decisions that just kind of got us by, they were low vibrational and there was no connection. There was no challenge. You may find that she kicks you in the butt a bit. She's going to balance things out and bring things into that high vibrational, meaningful, and correct or just way. Stagnation and idle energy will get you nowhere. Justice is trying to protect you so that the tower doesn't come in and really give you a good shock. That rebalance is going to inspire you forward. You guys will find that the more attention you put onto that everyday, onto the here and now, and what's happening for you right here, right now, that's when you're going to get those epiphanies, those aha moments. We can't hyper-focus and spend all our time in the future with that future goal or hope or dream. We can't stay in the past to those hurts and that fear. That balance needs to be there. Yes, we need to learn from our past. Yes, we need to strive for a future. However, we need to live in the here and now. That attention, that passion needs to be focused on today. And that's what Justice is really going to help you figure out. Rebalance you, my Virgo friends. Because that hyper-focusing and that repetitive, ruminating thoughts and feelings, stuff that's happened in the past or what could happen in the future, is causing stagnation. It's causing exhaustion, and you're feeling that burn right now. Justice is going to cut through some of that crap for you. The Knight of Swords. Knights are that adolescent no-fear energy. That go big or go home energy. And we need that courage and that determination. It's going to be that courage and determination combined with that just energy of the Justice and the stabilizing energies of Virgo to get you out of this rut, to get you engaged and finding that meaning, that fulfillment in right here, right now. Now we have the Knight of Swords. Swords are about truth and knowledge again. He too wields a sword of truth and knowledge. It's nowhere near the degree of justice. The way I like to think of it, as this is Excalibur, this just happens to be a Knight of the Round Table. Effective and can get jobs done, but nowhere near what Excalibur can do. He's going to help us with that courage and determination, that knowledge that's going to help take us forward. We need to get out of our heart center, where we're dealing with the woes and heartaches of the past, the fears of the future. We need to be using that critical thinking that's going to help us engage in today and not be afraid of tomorrow. The Eight of Swords. I love this depiction of the Eight of Swords. It has such clear meaning and feeling. Now, the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, there's a woman who's all bound up. She's got a blindfold over her eyes and her third eye. She has that feeling of hopelessness and isolation. You get that same feeling when you look into her eyes. You can see she's missing that picture. She's disconnected to what her familiar is trying to tell her. She has that cold, heartless feeling within her sight. The Eight of Swords talks about all those past experiences, events, situations that have happened. They pen us in. They make us feel stuck, disconnected, and very much alone. We're uncertain as to how to move forward because we've got ourselves all bound up. That emotion that has been attached to those events and situations is really holding us back. And that's what we have to overcome right now, is that stagnation and isolation, which is very clearly depicted in the Eight of Swords. The Knight and Justice will help you. They'll help you get unbound and help you take off that blindfold. One of the ways that we can do this is by allowing our head and our critical thinking skills to guide us. That hurt and fear isn't supporting us. It's causing more stagnation, more isolation, and more pain. Like I said before, justice is trying to protect you from what can come forward should we not move out of the Eight of Swords. That Tower energy is looming because we have that stagnation. The universe will only allow us to be stagnant for so long before it kicks us into gear, and usually into high gear. Now, like I said, we've got a lot of swords here. That critical thinking is going to be essential. That said, your ego is going to be screaming that heartache and fear. And when your ego decides to scream at you and throw you into one of those isolated, stagnant, heart-aching moments, it's when we need to connect into that courage. That's when we need to really connect into that courage, that determination, that critical thinking. Because your ego cannot stand up to that critical thinking. It's an emotion. Emotions don't make sense. We need that head-centered movement rather than the heart. These two swords are going to take you a lot further than that emotion center. Critical thinking, asking those hard questions, and being open to the answers that come forward. Eights in tarot are about movement and manifestation. We have the ability for movement. However, it's up to us to embrace that movement and be open to how we need to go forward. The Empress, the third card in the Major Arcana. When we start to move forward, we start to get out of that fear, out of that heartache, and we start to embrace right here and right now. We're going to have some amazing pieces come into play. That abundance will flow over. We're getting out of that darkness and we're getting into that light. Like I said, justice is pulling you out of that darkness. Justice wants you here, especially during Virgo, which is symbolized by the maiden, by that fertile archetype. During Virgo's reign, we go through Labor Day, which is a celebration regarding all our hard work. And then just as Virgo is about to wane, that's when the fall equinox occurs on September 22nd. We have that ability to shift our gears and embrace that bounty that is right in front of us. However, we're so stuck in that future or past that we're not seeing what's right there. Those opportunities that bring in abundance in all aspects of our lives, including that very beneficial financial and material abundance. When we start to shift and embrace that light, it's when the universe comes in and nurtures us, allows things to slide into place so that things aren't so challenging, rewarding us with abundance, with joy, and with meaning. So it's going to be very beneficial for you to make this shift, to balance out yourself, focusing in on today, embracing everything that today is going to offer you. And finally, strength. Strength is the 8th card in the Major Arcana. Talks about using your skills and your abilities in your own unique way. Owning those aspects and pieces of self and using them to our advantage. Many of us share the same skill sets or traits. However, we use them in different ways, in differing manners. When we make them our own, utilizing what's right there in front of you, those everyday aspects that can be very different for each individual, incorporating that together and being inspired and directed by that universal wisdom, you're going to find that this shift is a lot easier. When you're focusing in on those skills and abilities, you literally let them loose so that you are taming that wild beast in your own way. The original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, it wasn't a wolf that the maiden was taming. It was a lion. She's closing the jaws of a lion. And it's in her use of her own abilities, her own nurturing energies, that she has tamed and subdued that lion. And it's up to us to do the same. Our ego, our wild beast, is there. It's up to us to tame it. We know how. Just like how the ego knows how to push our buttons, causing isolation, fear, and stagnation. Let's go on to some blessings here. What blessing can Virgo share with my friends that are connected into the sign as Virgo is high in the sky? I'm enjoying the pattern here. As I look up and I'm looking at these cards, we have 3 major arcana. We also have the Empress, which is the 3rd card in the major arcana. When you have that multiple 3, the angels are telling you that something close to your heart needs to be expressed. And that's very much true here. That expression and that growth is imperative for you. The more we're able to express what's holding us back through our creative means, whatever that looks like for you, the more we're going to be able to shift forward, gaining again that abundance at the end of our hard work. And don't get me wrong, when I say abundance, I mean in all aspects of our lives. And I know most of us are focusing in on that materialistic aspect because we need it right now. However, you're going to find that other aspects of self start to grow and thrive, creating abundance, fulfillment, and joy. The thinking man. Like I said, those critical thinking skills are going to be essential for you. The more we're able to use that head center to overcome the heart, the more we're going to gain clearer understanding of self, clearer understanding of our situation, and most importantly, a better understanding of how to go forward. Removing and clearing out some of that gunk that's been holding us back. Man holding a heart. It is essential that we use those critical thinking skills. However, balance is going to be key. At the beginning of the reading, I told you that justice is a balance card. Yes, we need to focus in with our critical thinking skills, functioning from that head center rather than the heart. However, we can't shut the heart down. We still need to access it, especially as we start to move forward, using those skills and abilities. That's passion center. It goes right back to that heart. But it's not the emotion that's causing stagnation that we need to overcome. We want to embrace this section. Embrace it so it drives us right to the Empress, to that fertility. We need both aspects for that creativity, for that abundance. However, as we start off, it's going to be essential that we focus in on that head center, those critical thinking skills that are going to help us overcome that stagnation, help us realign our thinking and focusing in on the present day. When we're able to focus in on that present, we're able to focus in on how we can use our skills and abilities to our advantage, making our situation our own, creating answers that are unimaginable right now because we're feeling that stuck, that isolation. Virgo is offering you a lot of opportunity to start that shift. And it's a shift that's going to really help you as we progress into fall and winter. The fall offers us great abundance. One of the archetypes that Virgo is associated with is the Greek goddess Demeter. Use that energy that aligns with your birth chart to your advantage. That fertility and abundance is there. It's up to you to do the hard work and get the job done. Focusing in on today so that abundance can start to grow. I want to thank you guys for spending some time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you were able to find some direction and guidance into what Virgo is going to offer you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this fantastic insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. Now, I know there's a lot of people with Patreon pages. This page helps to support me in creating new content and to continue to evolve my channel into something even greater than it is. There are many tiers and perks within my Patreon page, including private readings and healings with myself. And I also have Patreon exclusive readings that I offer my supporters to thank them for supporting me. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? I'd love to know what people think about it. Until tomorrow, my Virgo friends. Hello and welcome, my Healerite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and the oracle cards, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Virgo wants to share with you guys. What insight, wisdom, and guidance does Virgo have for my Healerite friends as Virgo rises high in the sky? The Ten of Swords. It's not a very attractive card. However, it is a very impactful and meaningful card. Swords are about truth and knowledge. The Ten of Swords talks about those past situations and events that sit heavy with us. Now, swords are all about truth and knowledge, not about emotion. These situations and events have triggered an emotional response within us. As we're emotional beings, that's a very natural association. It's in that emotional response that we're having the challenge. It's kind of sticking us to the ground. The original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew shows a man that's been impaled 10 times. He's lying on the ground. It too is not an attractive card. It's not one that people look forward to getting. However, it is very meaningful. Tens are about ending and beginning. What Virgo is encouraging you to do is, no matter what's happened in the past, we need to greet the day. Embrace and conquer that next challenge. There will be a time that we can start to lessen that fear, lessen that pain. However, right now, we need to continue to charge into battle. Going back to Pamela Coleman Smith's card, in the background, the sun is starting to rise. It too speaks about the importance of getting up, no matter what burdens we're carrying, because for us to play dead causes that stagnation and will eventually cause that lightning strike of the tower to hit us hard, as well, we're a sitting target. Virgo is giving you that strength, that earthy stability to embrace and go forward. It's also giving you that ability to critically look at what's happening, to look at these aspects in that critical manner, in that detailed orientated manner, taking time to reflect on your situation and what's happening, getting down to that bare bones of the situation so that you are able to, well, continue and get going. But not just get going, just to go for go's sake, but in a more meaningful way. You're directing that energy to a change that's going to support you. Like I said in the introduction, Virgo is a mutable earth energy. And like I said in the introduction, earth energies aren't usually that mutable. They don't really like flexibility. They are pretty strong and stable. But Virgo has some flexibility. And it's in that flexibility that we're going to be able to gain that direction that we need. On to the Ten of Pentacles. Now, like I said, tens are about endings and beginnings. That pentacle is also associated with that earth energy. We have the stability. It's not just the stability of Virgo. The Ten of Pentacles is a family card. We have that stability of our support system. We don't need to take this on alone. We may feel like we should because we don't want to burden others. However, when we keep things bottled up, we're more likely to play dead than to move forward. And this stagnation is hard on us. We feel even more lethargic. We feel even more stuck and unable to move forward. Using our support system as a backbone to help prop us up until we have that fighting spirit back. We don't have to burden everybody with everything. However, we can ask for the help that we need. Additionally, we can ask for the help that we need from family members who've passed on. They can give us guidance and wisdom. We have an astral family that is just waiting to support us. But because we have that universal law of free will, they can't step in without us asking. Using that support system on a physical plane and on the astral plane will really help get you going and get you going in the right direction. We don't want to waste energy on illusions and paths that will not support us, that aren't for our greater good. Our support system, especially that astral support system, and the higher vibrational beings will be able to give us a clearer direction on what's going to be meaningful and supportive to us. Now, obviously, we do have the double tens here. In angel messages, when you have that multiple 10, the angels are telling you it's time of personal development and spiritual awakening. That's very much true for you. Virgo is going to give you that stability so that we can branch away, grow and develop in fulfilling and meaningful ways for us. The Fortune Fairy, also known as the Wheel of Fortune, adding to our tens, it's the 10th card in the Major Arcana. It talks about that natural progression, those seasonal changes. It signifies and symbolizes a time of change for you. We're going to get away from this kind of feeling stuck and under the sword, if you will. We're going to have that ability to have a bit more fun. Connect into what's meaningful. Gain the direction and development that's going to bring you that abundance and joy that we're looking for. The Knight of Swords. Knights are that adolescent no fear energy. That kind of go big or go home energy. The energy that knows that nothing can stop them. We're going to need that energy to overcome this feeling of stagnation, this feeling of being caught underneath the sword. The heaviness of the burdens we're carrying feels sometimes insurmountable. That's because our ego is causing you to focus in on the fear and the heartache. We're looking at a time of change. Like I said, we have some flexibility within the stability, using that stable energy to get up. Greeting our day, embracing what is to come. One of the ways that we can start to embrace some of this courage and determination is through our solar plexus chakra. And that's very much what this energy of the Knight is about. That courage, that determination, that willpower. It sits right in our stomach area, and its color is that of yellow. We can focus in, meditate, and strengthen our courage when we're really feeling the weight of our burden. We can take some time to strengthen that solar plexus, redirecting our mind from the burden to that courage, to that willpower. Now, I have a playlist of meditations that I've done with the archangels. I've got a link below to that playlist. And in that playlist is a meditation I did with Archangel Uriel. He too is connected into that courage and willpower. His auric color is red or gold. Connects into that inner flame of our solar plexus. It's a fantastic meditation to help redirect your mind to those skills and abilities that we have. That courage and determination to overcome whatever challenge we're facing. This is a 30-minute free video that you can use. It's another tool you can use in your repertoire. When it comes to meditating, it comes to overcoming challenges and healing self. I wanted to create a good playlist so that you guys have a lot of tools that are easy to do. Guided meditation is easy. They're 30 minutes. So you have that ability to access this throughout your challenging time. The more you're able to challenge that burden, your ego, the easier it will become. The easier it will become to ask for the help that you need, because you're going to have a better understanding of where you're struggling. You're going to be able to bring in that play and fun, connecting into our passions, which really connects into Archangel Uriel again. Using that courage and determination to our advantage helps us to overcome, well, this challenge and a lot of challenges. And finally, the Ace of Pentacles. Now, throughout this journey of Virgo's reign, we're going to have, well, some ups and downs. There's going to be days that we're really going to feel that burden. There's going to be days that we're going to be embracing that shift. throughout the next month, you're going to find that you start to plant little seeds within yourself. Whether that's reconnecting into skills and abilities, creating new ways to using them, tapping into your playful, fun self, your creativity, what have you. Whatever the next month brings you, you're going to start to plant some seeds. And as you continue forward, because this progression isn't going to stop with Virgo. We're not looking at healing those swords. We're not looking at doing anything but trying to cope with them. Eventually, not now, but eventually, we're going to feel strong enough and we're going to have enough development and growth where we are going to be able to take on those swords. And those pieces and skills that we started to plant will be essential and vital to overcoming that heartache and fear. Let's go into some blessings. What blessing does Virgo have for my Healerite friends for the reign of Virgo? So we have a number of pentacles here, and we're in the earth sign Virgo. When we are feeling some of this burden, we're feeling really unable to move forward, very uncertain, take some time and ground ourselves. That earthy stability will create the strength that we need to stand up and greet our day. The more stable we feel, the more empowered we are to overcoming challenges. The thinking woman. We're going to need to use our head and our critical thinking skills to overcome some of this emotion. I said at the very beginning, swords are about truth and knowledge. We're emotional beings. We've attached that emotion to that sword. Critical thinking and using that foreplanning and forethought to, ground yourself. Give yourself that time for the meditation. Will naturally take you out of that headspace, out of that hurt and fear. And most importantly, focusing in on what's happening for you right now. We can't continue to focus in and live in that past aspect of heartache, of pain. We need to live in the here and now, embracing what's happening for us right now. Embracing this amazing shift that Virgo is going to be able to support us in embracing. When we focus in on that critical thinking, we're going to be able to outwit our ego. Our ego can't stand up to critical thinking. It doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the foundations that light and love have. Ego is built on heartache and fear, which is low vibrational. There's no foundation in low vibration. It's all squishy and gunky. Woman holding a coin. The abundance we're looking for. I said earlier, once we get unstuck and out of this, the more we're able to embrace this shift, that's when the abundance is going to be there. Virgo's being very clear here that when we use our critical thinking, we shift out of this stagnation, embrace the day, embrace that power, that abundance and financial reward will be there. The more you're able to embrace what's happening, live in today, you're going to be greeted with opportunities and possibilities that you hadn't seen before because you've been stuck in the past. I want to thank you guys so very much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you're able to gain some insight and direction into what Virgo wanted to share with you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing healing and insight is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you want to support me in making more videos, I have a Patreon page. And there are many perks and tiers to my Patreon page. You can get free readings and healings. Plus, I also offer my Patreon supporters exclusive readings just for them. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Healerite friends. Hello and welcome, my Selenite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the Oracle and the Tarot cards, so you get the fullest and most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what Virgo wants to share with you guys. What wisdom, insight, and guidance does Virgo have for my Selenite friends? The Six of Swords. Sixes are about balance and harmony. The Six of Swords talks about that movement. I know it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of movement in this card. However, the Six of Swords is a movement card. Shifting from that very chaotic and uncertain time to more stable time. The original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew has a woman who's hooded with a child beside her and a ferryman taking her across a body of water. On the right hand side, the water's really choppy, and on the left hand side, it's very placid and calm. And in the distance, there's a land full of abundance and fertility. And that's where we're headed, my Selenite friends, is that abundance and fertility. One important aspect of this card is that in the boat, in the front of the boat, there are 6 swords. This card talks about the need to carry those burdens that we have with us. This is not a time of healing. We're not going to be trying to remove any of these swords. For if we do, we will sink, cause stagnation, and further heartache. We must carry that burden with us to a more stable and fertile area so we're able to heal in a more productive manner. We're more stable, and we have that energy and time to expend to that healing. Right now, we need to focus in on that movement forward. The Hermit. The Hermit is the 9th card in the Major Arcana, and it talks about that inner journey. When I said that we were going to be moving forward, it's not so much literally. We're going to be making progression in our understanding. And the important part of this understanding will be of self. The Hermit is a guide that will support us to understanding ourselves, our skills, our abilities in a more fulfilled way. We'll have a better connection to yourself, a better understanding of who you are. the Eight of Swords. Now, eights are about movement and manifestation. It's what the number 8 in tarot signifies. However, in the Eight of Swords, it kind of talks about that lack of movement. In the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, there's a woman who's all bound up in chains and she has a blindfold on, and there are 8 swords penning her in. She feels isolated and disconnected. She's on this kind of boggy marsh type idea. Now, we do have the feeling of isolation and disconnect in the woman's gaze here. You can see the hurt and the pain that are associated with the knowledge she's bearing. And yes, we've got some baggage, some burden to carry. We can do it, especially when we have a better understanding of self. It helps us to understand that resiliency that we have. Like I said, this isn't a time to dealing with these past experiences. And that's what the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Swords are talking about. And the 3 of Swords. We're looking at that knowledge that you gain through experience, that we've associated an emotion of heartache and fear. It's not so much the knowledge of the event, it's the emotion. This is why we struggle as a species with the swords, because of the emotion we've attached. The swords are telling us we need that knowledge from that situation, that event, that experience. We're struggling and resisting that because of the emotion we've attached to it. We're not wrong or right about attaching emotion. We're emotional beings. That is what we do. Another part of that lesson is detangling that situation from the emotion. We need to release and heal the emotion and learn from the situation. But like I said, that's not what we're doing right now. We need to move forward, gain a better understanding of self, so that we are able to start to detangle ourselves, heal ourselves, and learn from the experience. The King of Swords. You guys getting a bit of a picture here? We've got now 4 swords on the table. 3 swords and a hermit. Kings are the most fully developed personality of their suit. That sword, we're talking truth, baby. We have the knowledge on how to connect into ourselves. We have the knowledge on how to move forward, to better understand ourselves. It's up to us to take hold of that knowledge and apply it to the here and now, so that we are able to get unstuck and out of this turbulent time into a more calm and fertile ground. We need that fertility to grow so that our abundance is right at our fingertips. Without that fertility, we don't have the growth, we don't have the abundance. We need to trust in our experiences, trust in our knowledge. That can be a real challenging aspect, trusting in ourselves and our abilities, so that we do move forward. And finally, the Sun. This reading was getting very dark. The Sun has come out. This reading was getting really dark. However, the Sun has come out, my friends. That fertility, that joy, that happiness needs to be felt right now. It will help with that movement forward. It will help with that inner research and journey. The Sun always brightens up and adds that warmth that we need, especially to this many swords. Now, the best way to really embrace the Sun's joy and happiness is to shift from that emotional center to that head center. Those critical thinking skills will support you in, well, getting on that boat. And once you're there, once you've made those decisions and you start to move forward, you're going to feel the warmth of that sun, the joy, the relief. When we start to make decisions, we start to give ourselves time, we start to set those intentions, we feel stronger. We feel more able to take on whatever challenges, whatever problems we're facing. Helps to light our way. And that light can go a long way in our journey, in our understanding. And most importantly, with that compassion and loving of self, that nurturing energy. We're not going to be dealing with that healing aspect so much. But, this is a big one, we do need to give ourselves that time and that empathy and nurturing energy so that it empowers us. It invigorates us forward. Let's go into some blessings. What blessings does Virgo have for my Selenite friends for the reign of Virgo? The 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. So your 7th chakra is your crown chakra. It's not usually one I associate with Archangel Uriel. The crown chakra I associate with Archangel Raziel or Archangel Metatron, even Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Uriel is usually connected in with your 3rd chakra, which is your solar plexus chakra. All of these are going to be very important. The solar plexus chakra is connected to your courage, your determination. We're going to need that because we're going to be taking on our ego. And our ego knows how to push all our buttons. That fear, that heartache can be debilitating. We're going to need a very strong solar plexus chakra so that we can connect in to our abilities, to our knowledge. Now, Archangel Uriel is fantastic at making that connection, helping you step from the darkness into the light, embracing yourself and your powers. Now, a number of months ago, I did a meditation with Archangel Uriel. In the description box below, I have a link to a playlist of meditations. They're meditations I've done with the archangels. And the one that I did with Archangel Uriel was strengthening self, that courage and determination, and connecting into those skills and abilities. It's a fantastic, easy guided meditation that's free and lasts for about 30 minutes. You can access it as often as you want and continue to gain that healing and insight. It's a fantastic way to overcome some of this stagnation and fear. Now, I have addressed Archangel Uriel and the solar plexus chakra. Your crown chakra is that connection and guidance from the universe. It's where we are able to download information, where we're able to connect in to those higher vibrational beings. We're going to need that guidance. We're going to be going forward to that fertile, abundant space. Those higher vibrational beings, your guides, your guardians, the angels, they have that direction. They can help guide and light up the path that the hermit is going to set out for you. It's being open to those messages. One of the best ways to be open to messages is through meditation. Scientifically, we have been able to reinforce how positive and amazing meditation is for us. Helps to balance out our brain function, so we're using both hemispheres of our brain. Like I said earlier, that critical thinking and using our head rather than our heart is going to help you get up and get going. So using the tools and skills, I've got a playlist of meditations. They're free. You can access them whenever and however often you want. And other means and tools that you find useful for you, you know them. They're the ones that you rely on. And if we can't remember them, or if we're struggling with that, go back to something that is very basic, like those meditations. They'll help give you clearer understanding of what you're trying to overcome. Goddess of the Moon. I love this card. I think it's such a beautiful card. This card talks about that nurturing that I'd mentioned before. It's imperative that we give ourselves that love and caring that we need so that we're strengthening ourselves. If we're hard on ourselves right now and we're very critical of self, critical of these events, we're going to cause ourselves more stagnation. We're working in cahoots with our ego. It's time that we give ourselves love and forgiveness. Another meditation that comes to mind is one that I did a couple weeks ago with Archangel Zadkiel. And it is about that forgiveness. The forgiveness of self, the compassion for self. Both are going to be essential and vital for you to really get that movement going, for you to really be able to embrace that warmth and love that will help with your abundance and growth. I want to thank you guys so very much for spending time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what Virgo wanted to share with you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing healing and insight is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you want to support me in making these videos, I have a Patreon page. There's lots of tiers and lots of perks to becoming a Patreon, including free readings and healings from myself, plus a library of Patreon exclusive videos. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out. Until tomorrow, my Selenite friends.